First snow of the year came on a Thursday. I was on my way in when I noticed the flakes coming down through the street light, casual and unrehearsed. I stopped on the pavement for a minute, the way you always stop for the first snow. No matter how many times you've seen a first snow, the first snow of each year deserves the stopping though. First snow is always the first snow. First snow, no matter how many times it falls new. First snow is an annual gift that arrives without condition. First snow is the sky's small decision. The city takes on its first snow phase briefly before the practical arrives and gets involved. The first 20 minutes of a first snow is all the world before it gets resolved. A child walked past with their parent. The child was saying something about the snow. I couldn't hear the words, but the delight was whole. The particular child delight of the first snow. First snow is always the first snow. First snow, no matter how many times it falls new. First snow is an annual gift that arrives without condition. First snow is the sky's small decision. I've been alive for 30-something first snows, and none of them has felt like one before. The body resets completely for the first snow, stands there on the pavement keeping score of nothing, just receiving what is falling, just being in the first snow as it lands. First snow requires only the attention of two eyes looking up and two cold hands. First snow, I stood there in the Thursday evening. First snow, I let it do its brief believing in the possibility of a city made new. is always beautiful. First snow fell, I stood there, then went in carrying it as long as I could.
I remember the first morning I noticed the gray, really noticed it. Not the dismissing glance, the actually looking at the gray and staying with it. It was a Thursday morning, the bar was the night before. I stood at the bathroom mirror with a particular attention of a person arriving at a particular door, of the actual, of the acknowledging. The first gray morning was the most particular kind of meeting. The first gray morning was the most particular kind of greeting. From the years to the face, the first gray morning was the morning I met the next version of my face. The first gray morning was the particular kind of grace of the actually looking and not immediately looking away. The first gray morning was the most particular kind of day, of the calendar of the self, of the particular honest arriving. The first gray morning was the most particular kind of thriving into the actual. I sat with the gray that morning, more than the usual, sitting with the mirror. The gray at the temples, in the particular way of the particular clearer stage of the aging that the mirror doesn't lie about. The first gray morning was the most particular kind about, with the actual that I have won by accepting. The first gray morning was the beginning of the particular piece. The first gray morning was the most particular release from the imagined face into the actual face. Was the morning I met the next version of my face. The first gray morning was the particular kind of grace. Every morning after the first gray morning is the continuation of the acceptance. I've gotten better at the meeting, at the particular attendance, the actual face in the particular mirror lights. The first gray morning was the beginning of the right kind of relationship with the face I have. The first gray morning was the beginning of the half that knows and accepts, and even on the good mornings appreciates. The first gray morning is years behind me now. The gray is fuller now, and I've made my peace, which took the years to make, but which is made. Good morning. Good morning. I ordered a drink at a bar I'd never been to. Something off the menu that looked interesting. The bartender made it with the particular care of a person who makes things worth the listening to. The making of, and it arrived and it was wrong for me. Not badly made, just wrong in the particular way of the person who has found their particular drink and doesn't need the experiment. The night I ordered the wrong thing was the most particular kind of sentiment of having arrived at the no. The night I ordered the wrong thing was the confirmation of the particular. The night I ordered the wrong thing was the most singular proof that I know what I want now at this age. The night I ordered the wrong thing told me more about the right thing. The night I ordered the wrong thing was the most particular kind of lightning. But what the right thing is, by being the demonstrably not it. The night I ordered the wrong thing was the most particular kind of hint of the self-knowledge, of the knowing of the actual want. The night I ordered the wrong thing was the most particular kind of font of the arrived, of the having found the particular order. I finished it with the particular good grace of someone who ordered their own wrong thing and ordered the right thing for the second glass, and felt the particular kind of ring of the correct, of the particular yes. The night I ordered the wrong thing was the most particular kind of best outcome for the wrong thing. The night I ordered the wrong thing is a small thing in the scheme. The night I ordered the wrong thing is the most particular kind of dream of the self-knowledge, small version. The night I ordered the wrong thing told me more about the right thing. The night I ordered the wrong thing was the most particular kind of lightning. There's a version of the wrong thing that teaches more than the right thing. The wrong thing tells you about the right thing. the particular kind of not it that clarifies. At 50 the wrong things clarify faster than at 30. The night I ordered the wrong thing was the most efficient kind of mastery of the particular drink at the unfamiliar bar. The night I ordered the wrong thing led me back to the particular star of the right thing. The night I ordered the wrong thing, second glass, the right thing, as always, as it turns out.
Still standing at the bar after all these years, the years that had their various ideas about what I was supposed to be by now. The years with their particular arrears that I've been paying off in various ways. Still here, still the particular Thursday, still the same stool with the same order and the same light, still the same Wednesday or Thursday or whatever the night. Still standing at the bar is the most particular kind of defiance. Still standing at the bar is the most particular kind of reliance on the thing that has held through the various years. Still standing at the bar after the years that had other ideas. Still standing at the bar after the various particular fears were faced and navigated, after the various versions came and went. Still standing at the bar is the most honest kind of spent, and still here, still the particular night, still standing at the bar and still getting it right. The years had various plans for me, some of which I followed and some I didn't. Still standing at the bar is the particular result of the following and the didn't. Both of them together, all of it together. Still standing at the bar through every kind of weather that the years can offer. Through all of them, still standing at the bar is the particular biography. Still standing at the bar is the most particular topography of the life, the particular map of the survive. Still standing at the bar
the lymph surge of the victory. It's quieter than that. Still standing at the bar is the particular fact of being here and continuing. Still standing at the bar. It's the most worth continuing. For its own sake, for the Thursday's own sake, still standing at the bar is the most wide awake I know how to be. Still standing at the bar after all of it, after everything it took to get here. Still here, still Thursday, still standing, still mine.
She's been working at this diner for 11 years. She knows the regulars by order, not by name. The man who wants his eggs on the left side of the plate, and the woman who can never get the coffee the same. She has a way of listening while she's doing other things. You tell her something and she doesn't stop the moving. But she heard it and she'll ask about it Thursday. The memory underneath the coffee pouring, grooving. Waiting tables at the end of the world. She does it like it matters. Waiting tables at the end of the world before the ordinary shatters into another kind of ordinary. She carries every plate with care. Waiting tables at the end of the world, showing up and being there. I come in on the mornings after the hard nights, when I need the predictability of her. The eggs, the coffee, the particular angle of the light through the window and the stir. She set my coffee down one morning without asking, then said, "You look like you could use a minute." I said, "Thank you," and she moved to the next table. And that was everything, and I was in it. Waiting tables at the end of the world. She does it like it matters. Waiting tables at the end of the world before the ordinary shatters into another kind of ordinary. She carries every plate with care. Waiting tables at the end of the world, showing up and being there. people, who is holding it to true. I don't know her name or anything about her life outside the diner and the 11 years and the order, but she is part of what keeps me tethered to the morning, part of my particular border. Waiting tables at the end of the world, like it's the whole world, which it is. Waiting tables at the end of the world, like every table is. Everything that's needed in that moment, every order is a life. Waiting tables at the end of the world, she carries it all like light. Waiting tables at the end of the world, she knows me by the X and the particular kind of coffee. In 11 years, and that is more than enough to be known.
The new year lands differently at 52 than it did at 30 or at 40 even. The countdowns have a different kind of weight when you have more of them behind you than ahead in. The particular arithmetic of the years. The new year at this age is more deliberate. The new year at this age is the particular choice of what to carry forward and to limit in the carrying. The new year at this age is the most considered kind of beginning. The new year at this age is the most particular kind of winning, of the permission to put things down that don't deserve the carrying. This age is not the loud kind of beginning. The new year at this age is the quiet kind of winning. Back the things worth keeping and the setting down of the things that aren't. The new year at this age is the most deliberate kind of art. Going to carry any more of the things that used to come along by habit. The new year at this age is the most particular kind of rabbit, pulled from the hat of the years, being chosen deliberately. I sat at this bar on the first Thursday of January and felt the particular quality of the new year. At this age, not the electric of the younger new year, more the particular kind of clear that the having done enough New Year's delivers, the having been through enough
to know the new year at this age is the most particular kind of show of the chosen, of the actual resolution. The new year at this age requires the most particular solution. The new year at this age requires the most particular solution. The new year at this age is the most considered contribution to the actual. The new year at this age is not the loud kind of beginning. The new year at this age is the quiet kind of winning. At 30, the new year was the whole year stretching ahead in the particular promise. At 52, the new year is the first Thursday, the actual first deliberate kind of honest beginning of the 12 months of the actual. The new year at this age is the most factual version of the new year, because I know what comes with the year. I know the cost and the particular gift. The new year at this age is the most clear. The new year at this age, January Thursday, the bar, the particular drink, the deliberate beginning of the year. I'm gonna live on purpose. On purpose. There's a photograph stuck to the fridge with a letter magnet from a birthday about 4 years ago. 7 of us somewhere in a summer garden, all of us younger than we currently know. 2 of the 7 have since moved to different cities. 1 has had a child I've only seen in pictures. 1 of us has married twice and once more quietly. And all of us have gathered our particular fixtures. The photo on the fridge is of people I still know. The photo on the fridge is of people from before. Before the last 4 years of life arranged us into our separate corners of the wind. The photo on the fridge is still when we were 10. We talk online occasionally in a thread that comes alive at Christmas and at birthdays. And sometimes someone posts a thing that matters, and we all respond within a couple of days. But the garden and the summer and the 7 standing in a row, because because someone asked us to. Is its own particular kind of moment that the thread will never fully carry through. The photo on the fridge is of people I still know. The photo on the fridge is of people from before. Before the last 4 years of life arranged us into our separate corners of the wind. The photo on the fridge is still when we were 10. I keep it on the fridge, not out of sentimentality exactly, more as a reminder of the version of the world where 7 people stood in a summer garden, and someone with a camera, and the moment caught it curved into this small rectangle of color that I see every morning when I make my coffee. The photo on the fridge is the world when it was simple, or at least when we thought the simple was enough for free. The photo on the fridge is a compass point of sorts. Is where the thread reports back to when I need to feel the original thing, the thing before the distance and the years. The photo on the fridge is the garden and it clears. The photo still 7 of us, still summer, still young enough to not know.
Bar closed early on account of weather. The rain came sideways off the harbor road. I sat outside beneath the broken awning and watched the last cab disappear below. The city gets so quiet after midnight, the kind of quiet that has weight and shape. I lit a cigarette and counted puddles and wondered how much longer I could wait. This is the longest night I've ever had to hold, the longest night I've ever had to know. The hours don't move, they just rearrange themselves, and everything I thought has changed somehow. Called your number just to hear the voicemail.
one you recorded sometime in the spring. You sound so ordinary in the message, like you had no idea what time would bring. I've called it 40 times in these 3 months, not leaving messages, just listening through. Something about the ordinary voice of you gets me every single time right through. This is the longest night I've ever had to hold, the longest night I've ever had to know. The hours don't move, they just rearrange themselves, and everything I thought has changed somehow. At some point the rain stopped without my noticing. At some point the sky went from black to gray. At some point the night just quietly became morning. The longest night became the longest kind of day. I didn't sleep, I just waited for the light, and the light came like it always does, despite. This is the longest night, but it ended like they do. The longest night still had a morning coming through. The hours rearranged themselves to dawn, and I was still here when it came along. The longest night eventually ends, they all do, even this one. Even this one. Even this.
My 30s had an opinion about everything I did, an internal commentator running constantly. This is not what you should be doing. This is not where you should be, honestly. The 30s were the decade of the self-assessment, the permanent and relentless taking stock. Every year a new inventory of the failing. Every year the same particular knock on the door of the enough. Am I enough yet? What my 30s thought of me was both too harsh and necessary. What my 30s thought of me was the most involuntary reckoning that I was going to have. What my 30s thought of me was the most honest half of the journey, before the 40s settled it. What my 30s thought of me was that I wasn't quite there yet. What my 30s thought of me was the permanent reset button of the expectation between the self-assessment and the fear. What my 30s thought of me was the most expensive year after year after year of the not quite enough. What my 30s thought of me was the most instructive stuff. By 39 I was exhausted by the 30s. The decade had been thorough in its work. At 40 the commentary got quieter. Somehow the relentless self-assessment took a perk. Back, pulled back, let the actual come forward. What my 30s thought of me had done its job and steps toward the exit and let me be. What my 30s thought of me made room for the free version at 40. What my 30s thought of me was preparing me for the 40s. What my 30s thought of me was the necessary road of the reckoning that had to happen. What my 30s thought of me was that I wasn't quite there yet. What my 30s thought of me was the permanent reset. I'm grateful to my 30s in retrospect. The decade did the thorough work it had to do. What my 30s thought of me was hard to live with, but what my 30s thought of me was true. Enough to be instructive, true enough to change me. What my 30s thought of me eventually could arrange me into the less harsh version, into the more inversion, into the version at the bar tonight. That is the after version of what my 30s thought of me and survived. What my 30s thought of me made me this, which is better than what they thought I was, which was not quite enough, which turned out to be wrong. There's always something about the last song on an album, the one that gets less play than what came before, the one that knows it's carrying the ending, the one that holds the door. The last track on the album